Thank you very much. It's a real pleasure to be here again, Chair, Mr. Ferrero. I'd like to thank everyone who's made it possible for this humble citizen of Ecuador who was born in Chimborazo and who lives in the heart of the Amazon in Pastaza, the cradle of biodiversity, could be here again. It was a dream last year, a miracle that I could come to this lofty hall where you deliberate on public policies that can trickle down or be upscaled. They can go either way. This opportunity, my second opportunity to be here, makes me feel happy, grateful to God, to life, to you all, and to the processes that make it possible for women who walk barefoot, who had to break thousands of paradigms to train so that we could take part in such processes. My grandmother is illiterate. I finished primary school in my 20s and in my 30s started teaching in schools and universities. You're now working here. I'm truly happy to hear that my words touched those who make such high-level decisions. So thank you so much for being open, for your generosity and flexibility in being able to listen. If we are unable to listen, we cannot take in messages, especially when they come from the grassroots level, especially when they come from rural communities. Here you're drafting guidelines so that they can trickle down to that very level. These guidelines, Chair, Mr. Ferrero, and authorities of Ecuador and the world and of Latin America. I'm the Executive Secretary of the Latin American and Caribbean Network of Rural Women, REDLAC, which was founded in the 90s. These guidelines must reflect all our points of view. These guidelines that you're drafting must have a human quality, a technical and political quality to them, because if any of those elements is lacking, then it won't work. We have been told often, what would you like us to do for you? That's what the powers that be have asked us. Honestly, we would like your gaze to turn to the field again, for rural areas not to be forgotten, for those communities that are producing with our efforts, with sweat, and through adverse conditions, are producing, through our sweat and blood, are feeding the world. The pandemic has exacerbated social inequality because, unfortunately, most of Latin America's governments, most of the governments of the continent of hope, and I don't know whether this also goes for other countries in the world, believe that development is just about building, using cement, building more and more. However, when they're asked to invest in rural areas, in production, in food and improving living conditions, for high-quality services and goods, for education, drinking water, water for our crops, so that we can have knowledge, we're told there are no resources. There are no resources, and there is no way that there can be. In our last 30 years of operation as REDLAC, in 2012, we drafted the Declaration of the Rights of Rural Women to claim back our rights after all those years of exclusion. When I look at the declarations issued by the UN and the many proposals that have been made, I'm pleased and I would like to congratulate you. However, the decade for all rural women, adolescents, and women that has just been declared by the Organization of American States as of 2024, well, I'd like to thank Thomas Duncan. I'd like to thank Panama for making it possible for this to happen. We sent a note through asking that this could happen because there is no other support for countries such as mine. I'm sad to say this, however, but we hope that this will serve to ensure that public policy can trickle down, that we not continue to see food loss and waste, as this morning's speaker said. Why is food still lost in our communities? Because the macroeconomy kills the local economy. Our potatoes, our vegetables, our fruit, smallholders' produce is rotting away in our farms. No one will buy our produce. Large-scale companies suffocate smallholders. So we should implement all these guidelines: gender equality, rural policies, public policies that redistribute wealth at the country level so that we can turn our gaze back to the field. It's not just about going on agri-tourism field trips. We're talking about planning from the offices, from local states, national states, where we seek to generate opportunities at the urban and rural level. Let's generate a new culture in this post-pandemic phase, the culture of rural-urban reciprocity, where urban and political initiatives can support people in the field, not just macro production, but also smallholders, mostly women who are heads of households. That would put an end to the current situation. We would be achieving SDG 1, 2, 5, 13, and 17 even, all of them because we, rural women, the farmers of Ecuador, Latin America, and the Caribbean, and the entire world, are not a burden to anyone. Apologies, I'm saying this humbly but firmly. We are not a burden. Give us the opportunity to continue to be the pillar for our people's development, the pillar of our national and global economy. We just need opportunities. We were told we need to be bold. Thank you for telling us that. Let me say, I decided one day I might not be able to wear a dress, but I will get my degree. I felt I needed to be myself so I could be a better wife, a better mother, a better citizen, go to school, go to university. Otherwise, I wouldn't be here today. I have fought to uphold the economy of my household, and I have also served my society, my community. And I have trained myself. I have gone to school. That triangle has brought me here. Chair, decision makers, put it all in. Make sure it's all in there so that we can reestablish dignity. Let's believe in rural women and rural farmers and smallholders, and let's generate equality and opportunities. If you don't do it, then local governments will keep washing their hands of this all. They don't care about our pain. They don't care that we have to leave our fields because they're taking us away from our fields so that they can engage in macro production. There isn't even a dignified salary. Now we're talking about these issues. However, we, rural women, are the guardians of life, of nature, of seeds, healthy food, healthy, safe food of our natural resources allow us to keep living with dignity there in each and every rural community in Arab countries, Asian countries, American countries, countries in the Americas, everywhere in the world. We humbly ask, don't fail to be generous in your texts. Put everything in, anything that can change the world, truly change the world through social justice in a way that will allow us to keep feeding the world. Because in our communities, if our women have no knowledge, they are not aware that they have rights. We are investing in rural schools because knowledge alone can give us power and freedom. That is what it's all about. Action, commitment. Please, by God, do the best that you can. Thank you very much, Luz.
Solo decir mil gracias.
I just wanted to say thank you so much for believing in us. When I go back to my country, I will keep speaking to the world. I will keep speaking about the opportunities we're given, because we shouldn't be able to speak in public, to have local opportunities so that we can also help you in your decision making. Thank you very much for allowing us to be here. May God bless us all. Thank you.
Muchísimas gracias.
Thank you very much, dear Luz. I'm speechless. And I don't want to add a single word to that statement and the life lessons about what exactly the SDGs are all about. It's far easier to grasp when Luz puts it so eloquently. It's now my privilege to also invite up to the podium, up to the panel, another woman leader